Shalom, 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 peace and greetings to my brothers and sisters of the nation of Israel, the so-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians, the Israelites that the Bible speaks of. Hey, greetings to you. Welcome to another Savory Sunday, where we break down the Most High's commandments. Well, we pick one, actually, and we break down his commandments, and we give our brothers and sisters of the nation of Israel a better understanding of how to keep the commandments, the consequences of not keeping the commandments, and to hopefully restore and rebuild and close up the breaches of the nation of Israel. But before we get started, we got to give all honor, glory, and praise to Yahweh by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, Yahweh being the Heavenly Father, Yahweh Shai being who the world calls Christ. And through his strength, sacrifice, and example, we are here and able to be able to do another class, another edifying lesson. And it's another Savory Sunday, and today's topic is called Heal the Broken and the Weak. Heal the broken and the weak. That's today's topic. And a special shout out to you brothers and sisters who are holding it down in this truth, especially to you brothers and sisters who are new to this truth. You tuning in for the first time, or you've been tuning in continually. Hey, special shout out to you brothers and sisters. Continue to do the work, continue to learn, continue to uplift yourself, to learn more, to be able to uplift your families and your nation of people. So like I said, on a Savory Sunday, we aim to learn the commandments, break them down so we can become a sweet smelling savor to the Most High. And by keeping the commandments, learning the commandments first and applying them to your lives and teaching and commanding your brothers and sisters to keep the commandments, that's how we become a sweet smelling savor to the Most High. So I ain't going to hold you up. We're going to jump right on into it. We're going to go to the book of, in the Apocrypha, for those who don't know. We're going to go to the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 2, verse 1. Bear with me. Let me get there. All right. We're going to go to the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 2, verse 21. In the Apocrypha. Put it up on the screen for you so you can see. All right. Let me blow it up a little bigger. All right. It reads, let me start at 18. It says, for thy help, I will send my servants, Isaiah and Jeremy, after whose counsel I have sanctified and prepared for thee 12 trees laden with diverse fruits. So those 12 trees are the 12 tribes. Diverse fruits, that's understanding. Verse 19, it says, and many fountains flowing with milk and honey, and 7 mighty mountains, those are prophets, whereupon those there grow roses and lilies, whereby I will fill thy children with joy. Do right to the widow. So it's going through some commandments. And we're going to pick one, but nonetheless, it's listing some of the commandments that you normally don't hear about. It says, do right to the widow, judge for the fatherless, give to the poor, defend the orphan, clothe the naked, heal the broken and the weak. That's what we're going over today. It says, laugh not a lame man to scorn. Laugh not a lame man to scorn, defend the maimed, and let the blind man come into the sight of my clearness. So what we're talking about today is healing the broke and the weak. Let's go to the book of Matthew, chapter 10, verse 8. The book of Matthew, chapter 10, verse 8. And it reads, heal the sick, cleanse the lepers, raise the dead, cast out devils, freely ye have received, freely give. Matter of fact, let me start up. Let me go back to 5, verse 5. Matthew chapter 10, verse 5. It said, these 12 Yahushua sent forth and commanded them, saying, go not into the way of the Gentiles, and into any city of the Samaritans enter ye not, but go rather to the lost sheep of the house of Israel. You see that? So for you Christians and you non-believers of the truth of the Bible, Christ said, go to the lost sheep of the house of Israel, the Israelites. And as ye go, preach, saying, the kingdom of heaven is at hand. Heal the sick, cleanse the lepers, raise the dead, cast out devils. Freely you have received, freely give. You see that? So are we the 12? Are we part of the 12 disciples? No, but we are prophets nonetheless, coming back to do the work that the disciples and the other prophets had to do for the house of Israel, for the lost sheep of the house of Israel. Because at that particular time, them brothers and sisters knew who they were, but they were still lost because of the different doctrines that were going around. But we today are lost altogether, not knowing who we are as a nation of people. So we are commanded in this truth to go out to the highways and byways, according to Luke 14 and 23, to go out to the highways and byways to command our brothers and sisters to come into the house that it may be filled. You know, and it's time for our brothers and sisters to wake up to our salvation because it's at hand, according to Romans 13 and 11. But in this precept right here, or in these verses right here, Yahushua is telling the disciples to go to the lost sheep of the house of Israel and preach that the kingdom of heaven is at hand, to heal the sick, to heal the broken. That's what we're talking about. To heal the weak, cast out these devils that have been plaguing our people, you know, that are on our people, who rule over our people. It says raise the dead. Because right now, whether we know it or not, our brothers and sisters are dead. They still walking around, but they dead. Dead meaning they in sin on a daily basis and don't even know it. They walking around as the actual walking dead. That's why he said heal the sick. They sick right now. They don't understand what's going on. They think they in a good spot. They in a good area in life. You know, cleanse the lepers. They don't even know what's going on. They don't even know that they diseased and sick right now. They think it's just part of human nature and what's going on right now because they've been fooled by these damn devils who rule over it. So Yahushua command us to go out and heal the sick. How do you heal the sick? By giving them truth. Giving them truth. Because the truth going to set you free, according to John 8:32. It's going to set you free from what? From those devils, from that sickness, from those ailments, from them bodily diseases that plague us as a nation of people, those doctrines, those strongholds that constantly hold us down and keep us from prospering as a nation of people. That's why we are commanded to go out and get those of the captivity, according to Ezekiel 3 and 11. Go get my people. That's what the Lord wants us to do. But he says, raise the dead and cast out devils. How do we do that? Let's go to 1 Peter 4 and 11. How do you cast out devils? How do you raise the dead? Let's go to 1 Peter. I'm going the wrong way. 1 Peter chapter 4 and 11. And it reads, if any man speak, let him speak as the oracles of God. What are the oracles of God? His words, everything written in the scriptures, from Genesis to Revelation. If any man speak, let him speak as the oracles of God, meaning these laws, statutes, and commandments, these Old and New Testaments, speaking of the covenants, the promises, the services that are guaranteed to the house of Israel, even the blessing and the curses. If any man speak, let him speak as the oracles of God. If any man minister, let him do it as the ability which God giveth, that Yahweh in all things may be glorified through Yahweh Shai Mashiach, to whom be praise and dominion forever and ever. Amen. So that's what we aim to do. That's how we heal our brothers and sisters. That's how we raise them from the dead, by informing them as to who they are, letting them know what's going on in this world, why we consistently on the bottom of society, being the greatest people at everything that you can think of, you know, why our households are destroyed, giving them life, giving them answers, giving them light at the end of that tunnel, keeping their head above that water so they can stop drowning, you know, giving them backbones to help them stand up and be real men and women. We got to speak the oracles of God. That's how we're supposed to be speaking and uplifting our brothers. That's how we cast out devils, you know, because the devils are going to come up with different doctrines, philosophies, traditions to engulf us with, to keep us away from the Most High, for lack of a better word. They will come up with any scheme, scam, or strategy to keep us further and further away from the Most High. What do I mean by that? They'll tell you that color doesn't matter, or that Christ is white, and our people believe that. Therefore, we do not follow the doctrine that's written in the scriptures. We tend to follow whatever they put on the TV or in a magazine. So we follow behind lies. That's what these images that they give us are, lies. We trust in oppression because of these things. We trust in the American flag rather than trusting the Most High. We trust in the TV. We trust in jobs more than we trust in the Most High. That's what they aim to do. That's their job. But it's our jobs as prophets, as disciples of the Most High, students, sons of God, to go out and wake our people up and give them the truth, raise them from the dead, and cast off these devils. You know? Let's go to the book of Isaiah chapter 5 right quick. Book of Isaiah chapter 5 verse 4. And it reads, book of Isaiah chapter 5 verse 4. This is a question that the Most High is asking us. He said, what could have been done more to my vineyard that I have not done in it? Wherefore, when I looked that it should bring forth grapes, brought it forth wild grapes. You see that? Whether you know it or not, Israel, the nation of Israel, is the Lord's vineyard. So he said, what more could I have done to my vineyard? I gave them everything that they wanted, everything that they needed in life. They had servants. They had money. They had fame. They had land. They had a God that would fight for them. All they had to do was listen to his commandments. But they didn't want to do that. But we bringing forth wild grapes. What are those wild grapes? When your children in the streets killing each other, gunning each other down over Jordans, over Popeye's chicken sandwiches. Because this girl didn't want to date this girl or that boy. Wild grapes. Where we killing each other on a daily basis just for status. Committing crimes and all manner of lewd acts just for some type of popularity. Those are wild grapes. I'm going to keep reading. It says, and now go to. I will tell you what I will do to my vineyard. I will take away the hedge thereof. What's the hedge? Just like a fence in your yard. A hedge is there for protection, to keep certain things and people out of there. Take away the hedge thereof, and it shall be eaten up. Eaten up by what? The damn beast of the field, the insects, anything you can think of. It shall be eaten up, and break down the wall thereof, and it shall be trodden down. You see what the Most High said he would do to his vineyard? Who is his vineyard once again? Israel. Israel is the Lord's vineyard. I'm going to keep reading. It said it shall be trodden down. Keep that in mind. Verse 6. And I will lay it waste. It shall not be pruned, nor digged. but there shall come up briars and thorns. I will also command the clouds that they rain no rain upon it. Talking about the nation of Israel. I'm going to prove that in verse 7. Said, for the vineyard of the Lord of hosts is the house of Israel. You see that? So-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians. You are the Lord's vineyard, the house of Israel, and the men of Judah his pleasant plant. And he looked for judgment, but behold oppression, for righteousness, but behold a cry. Now that's some deep deep sayings right here. Let's go back up. Verse 4 is talking about look what the Lord getting ready to do. Verse 5, the Lord said, I'm gonna tell you what I'm gonna do to my vineyard, meaning I'm gonna tell you and I'm gonna show you what I'm gonna do to my people. Now, if you really want a full list in detail, you can go read the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 15, all the way to 68. But he says right here in verse 5, I will take away the hedge thereof, meaning no more protection from the Lord. He said, and it shall be eaten up. Israel gonna be eaten up and break down the wall thereof. No protection around, and we're gonna be eaten, and it shall be trodden down. That's why we're not in our own land today. It's trodden down by the Gentiles, by our enemies. The folks over there calling themselves Jewish, pertaining to, but are not. They are the Gentiles that are in our land, trodden it down right now. They living it up in our land. And they're not the real Jews, because the Lord said when he put his vineyard or his people back in his land, there will be no more war. The people that are in that land, they constantly are in war and in battle. So they are not the Jews that the Bible speaks of. They have not been delivered. Verse 6, it said, and I will lay it waste, destroy it. All these different nations have come upon Jerusalem, came upon Israel throughout time, captivity after captivity due to our rebelliousness. It said it shall not be pruned. You know, in your garden or in your yard, you prune the bushes, the hedges. You keep them neat. You know what I'm saying? You use the hedge trimmers. You go around the edge, you get everything that's loose or growing out of place. You trim it, put it back in place. It said, nor dig. You ain't digging and pulling up the weeds. But it said, but shall come up briars and thorns. Therefore, that's not going to be a good garden anymore. You're going to have thorns and briars popping up in your garden, just like in our nation of people. You got wicked individuals within our nation popping up left and right, more and more so today. Not willing to listen to any damn thing, you know? And he said, I will also command the clouds that they rain no rain upon it. Meaning, nothing we gonna do gonna really sustain us. We're not gonna be successful here in captivity. We're not gonna be able to rise up as a people in captivity for being wicked as hell. Therefore, it's not gonna let it rain on us. That's why we constantly struggling and living check to check, week to week. If that. Got a handout every day trying to get something from the government. The Lord said he is not going to let it rain. Because when it rains, you're plenteous. Your garden, your vineyard is growing. But we drying up. We shriveling up. Dying. The sun's scorching us. Instead of the plant standing straight up, we on the ground. We leaning. Burnt up. You see that? Letting you know that the Lord then broke us down. For what? For our disobedience. Let's go to the book of Lamentations, chapter 2, verse 6. The book of Lamentations, chapter 2, verse 6. Once again, we're doing a Savory Sunday, breaking down the commandments, and the commandment is to heal the broken. But like I always say, don't look at the fruit of the tree. You got to look at the root as to why the tree is producing the type of fruit that it's producing. So like we said, like the scriptures say, Israel, the nation of Israel, is the Lord's vineyard. So we're supposed to be growing, producing good fruit. But instead of grapes, we bringing forth wild grapes, you know? So we need to do some root cause analysis and find out what's really the problem. You know, because we just found out that the Lord said, you know what I'm going to do to my vineyard for their disrespect, for their disobedience? I'm going to uproot them. I'm going to take away their protection because they don't speak the oracles of me, of the Most High. They don't keep my commandments, and I'm going to show them. But let's go to the book of Lamentations, chapter 2, verse 6, and it reads, "And he have violently taken away his tabernacles. As if it were of a garden, he have destroyed his places of the assembly. The Lord have caused the solemn feast and Sabbath to be forgotten in Zion, and have despised in the indignation of his anger the king and the priest." You see that? The Lord did away with everything because of our ignorance, because of our rebelliousness. You know, we forgot about the feast. That's why we over here as a majority of people celebrating Christmas and Thanksgiving and St. Patrick's Day and Valentine's Day and Halloween, because he made us to forget our solemn feast. We thinking Sunday is the Sabbath. He made us to forget. In Zion, Mount Zion, Israel, the Lord did these things due to our rebellion. Let's go to the book of Isaiah chapter 1. Book of Isaiah chapter 1, verse 4. It said, "Our sinful nation, a people laden with iniquity," meaning sin, "a seed of evildoers, children that are corrupters." You can't tell them nothing. You can't teach them nothing. So they grow up generation after generation lacking more and more knowledge. They have forsaken the Lord, meaning forgot about the Lord. They have provoked the Holy One of Israel unto anger. Like I said beforehand, we tricked and bamboozled by these damn devils, and we think that the Most High is all about love and peace. But the scriptures say he's a man of war. And it say right here that we have provoked the Holy One of Israel unto anger. They are gone away backward. Instead of progressing forward, we moving backwards as a nation of people. He tell us to keep the commandment. We say, nah, that's your interpretation. He say, keep the feast days. You say, I got something better to do. He say, congregate and with your brothers and sisters. You say, I got to go to work. We have gone away backward. I can't stand them Negroes. I can't stand them sisters. You're going all the way backwards. I ain't dealing with no count. I do this on my own. You're going away backwards. Or I'm going to the gym. Or I'm going to this party. Or I'm about to get told. I'm about to head to the mall. We going away backwards, not considering anything that goes on in our nation of people. We don't even consider ourselves to be a nation. That's how backwards and how low we done fell. I'm going to keep reading though. Verse 5, it says, "Why should ye be stricken anymore? Ye will revolt more and more. The whole head is sick and the whole heart faint." That's why we got to go out and heal the broken and the weak, because our people don't even know what's going on. We think we just black people. We don't consider ourselves to be a nation, even though we a nation of kings and priests, a holy nation, a holy people. We don't know these things. We've never been taught these things. We don't know anything more than what the enemy has taught us. That's why the Lord said, why should you be stricken anymore? You ain't gonna do nothing but revolt more and more. The head is sick. Your leadership. We ain't got no leadership. The brothers and sisters that's waking up now, that's the leadership. That's the head. We waking up. We giving the healing. We giving the medicine, the strength that our brothers and sisters need. Because the generation before they failed us. And that's all due to the Most High. This is his movie. We can only play out our role. Verse 6, it says, "From the sole of the foot," because the Lord's vineyard or the house of Israel, as a nation, we are a body of people. So it said the head is sick, meaning the leaders. The whole heart, they keep the body going. The mind is faint, is weak, unspirited, lacking understanding, lacking knowledge. It said from the sole of the foot unto the head, there is no soundness in it. No soundness. All we doing is taking whatever the enemy give us and trying to make something out of it. You know, we try so hard to follow these schemes to make money. That's what we live life for now, make money. You won't find that in the scriptures. Everybody say they want to be Christians or Christ. Like, you're not going to see Christ going through in the scriptures trying to make money. You're not going to read about Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, Moses, Noah, Isaiah, Ezekiel, Jeremiah, Nahum, Habakkuk. You ain't going to read about none of the prophets in the scriptures going out trying to make money. So why is it that today we think all we got to do is get money? Well, that was the old time, brother. Look at where we at now. Hey, the Lord said we got to eat to live. Yeah, you got to work. If a man don't work, he don't eat. That don't mean fixate your life on just getting money. That's a vain decision. That's vanity. It's foolish, especially, like I always say, you out there busting your ass, working 8 days a week to get some paper that got your enemy's face on it. Let that sink in for a minute. You're in a society where you were brought over here as a captive, as a slave. You were hung, beat, robbed, raped, pillaged. They finally took the chains off your neck. They didn't let you go free. They put you in slavery in another form. And they still raping and robbing and pillaging you. And the same piece of paper that they burn and print every day has their face on it. Yet and still you say, I'm going to live my life getting this money. And then you think you're going to give your child, your family that comes, your generation that come after you, you think you're going to really be able to instill in them great wisdom, sound doctrine. The scriptures say from the sole of the foot, even unto the head, there's no soundness in it. No soundness. You have no answers to what's going on in society, nor how to stop it or how to prevent it. All you do is shake your head and say, on to the next one. It says, but wounds and bruises and putrefying sores, they have not been closed, neither bound up, neither mollified with ointment. So what happens when you don't take care of a cut, a scrape, a bite? You know, you catch a bruise. What happens when you don't take care of it? It becomes a putrefying sore. Then it becomes infected because there's no ointment. It's not being bandaged. It's not being taken care of. That's what happened to our nation of people. We've been catching knots, bumps, and bruises, cuts, burns. Nobody bandaged us up. Excuse me. They ain't put no type of ointment. They didn't talk you through it, talk you out of it. No ointment. Therefore, there's no soundness, and it's sores and bruises and wounds that have not been bound up in our nation of people. And we turn around and wonder why the things happen that happen. Verse 7, it says, your country is desolate. Your cities are burned with fire. Your land, strangers devour it in your presence. I'm going to read that one more time because that ought to piss you off when you listening to this, Israel, so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians. You're not in your land right now. You were bought over here as slaves and shipped all around the world for your disobedience. And your country, Jerusalem, is desolate. Your cities are burned with fire. They burned your land, destroyed you and your cities. And strangers devour it in your presence. You watching them on TV, you giving praise and honor to them, saying, yeah, they the chosen one. Those are God's chosen people. They ain't never proved it to you. All they did was put on a top hat, let the curly fry hang from under the hat, and put on a black suit, and you call them guys chosen people. They don't add up to nothing in the scriptures. They don't even keep the commandments. But your land is desolate. Your cities are burned with fire. Your land is devoured by strangers. And you looking at it on TV and you can't do nothing about it. And you don't even want to do anything because you don't know who you are. And it is desolate as overthrown by strangers. That's pissing me off just talking about it right now. The fact that we on the bottom of society in a land where you think is the land of the free, where ain't nothing free. Nothing is free. You thinking you in the home of the brave, but you can't stand up for yourself or for your people. They're going to gun you down. Especially when you're doing it out of order, not following the ways of the Most High. You trying to fit into their society. You trying to get a little position of power, which you will never have. And if they do give it to you, it's only to furthermore oppress your people. They call you an overseer. Think about that. Those are what you call your supervisors and managers at the job. They won't put you in a position to own that company. And then you say all you got to do is work hard. You can own a company like that too. Okay. Say you do open that company up. Who are you paying your money to? You had to get somebody's permission in order to open that business. And you had to pay them to do it. And you will continue to pay them year in and year out. So you're never truly free. And I don't want to hear about the rules of the land and this and that. Understand you're not in your land right now. Your land is devoured by strangers. While you watch and try to sustain some type of living in a strange land, your land that you were given, that you fought for as a nation of people, is being trodden down by strangers, by your enemies. The same people who financed your transportation, your mode of transportation over to the United States of America or all around the world. The ones who sponsor the downfall of your people through your music, through your media, through everything you can think of. They sponsor your downfall. But why does this happen? Let's go to Hosea chapter 4, verse 6. Classic precept. But Hosea chapter 4, verse 6. It reads, my people. He didn't say the whole world. Once again, letting you know that's why these pastors don't want you to read the Old Testament. That's why these theologians and these seminary schools teach you to just stay in the New Testament. Because all throughout the Old Testament, it keeps saying, my people, my saints, my servants, the house of Israel. This is who we talking to from the beginning to the end of the book. And I just don't understand my people that don't understand it, that can't get it. You know, what has to happen for you to actually wake up and understand what's really going on? I mean, I understand 2/3 of the house of Israel are going to be put to death, but damn, how can you not get there but strive hard to learn how to be a nuclear physicist or want to be a damn biologist, a damn airplane mechanic, but you can't understand simple, basic principles that the Lord is only dealing with, has always dealt with the nation of Israel. I'm going to read this again, though. This is the book of Hosea, chapter 4, verse 6. It says, my people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge. Because thou hast rejected knowledge, I also will reject thee, that thou shalt be no more priest to me. Seeing thou hast forgotten the law of thy God, I will also forget thy children. That's why we grow up generation after generation not knowing that we're supposed to be keeping the commandments. Because we rejected knowledge from the beginning. What's our knowledge? What's our understanding? Keeping these commandments. Keeping these commandments. Why our brothers and sisters can't understand that? Why is that such a hard thing to believe? You know? Matter of fact, let's go get that right quick, just to show you. Let me go to Deuteronomy chapter 4. Deuteronomy chapter 4, verse 5. It said, "Behold, I have taught you statutes and judgments, even as the Lord my God have commanded me, that ye should do so in the land whither ye go to possess it. Keep therefore and do them, for this is your wisdom and your understanding." That's your knowledge. "In the sight of the nations, which shall hear all these statutes and say, surely this great nation is a wise and understanding people." When we ain't keeping the commandments, they looking at us like, look at these Negroes. Look at them. They just a bunch of damn thugs. Look at them. They want to be thoughts. Look at them. Savages. But the Lord said, you keep therefore and do them. This is your wisdom, your understanding in the sight of the nations. But our people reject the Lord, but claim that they got a relationship with God. God know their heart. God love everybody. You simple as hell. What they got to do? What they got to take? I don't encourage you to listen to what I'm saying. I'm just bringing out points. I want you to go back and read these things, because that's the word of the Most High is what cuts. According to Hebrews 4:12, it is a double-edged sword. It gonna cut you every time you hear it. That's why people don't want to read it and make up excuses as to why not to read it, because it's gonna cut them. They don't want to be cut unless it's by the enemy. But anyway, let's go to the book of Psalms, chapter 73. The book of Psalms, chapter 73. Now, why am I bringing this out? Because we're supposed to be healing our brothers and sisters. Got to heal you by giving you truth. The only way, just like back in the day when you was growing up, you had a cold, fever, whatever it was, you had to take that cough medicine, that Robitussin. You didn't like it, but that medicine, it was good for you. It didn't taste good. It didn't sound good, but it was good for you. That's what this is. That's what these classes are about. That's why the brothers and sisters of the nation of Israel who are waking up these days, hitting the highways and byways, giving them that medicine they don't want to hear, but it's good for them, because it's going to heal the broken and the weak. Let's go to the book of Psalms, chapter 73, verse 26. And it reads, "My flesh and my heart faileth, but Yahweh is the strength of my heart and my portion forever." You see that? Your flesh and your heart gonna begin to fail you at times, but you need to realize where your strength comes from. It's not from you going to the gym or going to the GNC store or watching Esau blend up all these different shakes, or what they telling you to eat dirt, cassava. Nah, your strength comes from the Most High. And my portion forever. That's where your strength is going to always reside at. Under the wing of the Most High. But we got to trust in him. We can't trust in our own thought. We damn sure can't trust in the enemy. The Lord, that's a commandment. Sirach 12:10, never trust thine enemy. But our people say, the hell with the Lord. I love the enemy. I love the so-called white man. Therefore, that's why your nation is destroyed now. That's why your children growing up destroyed now, because you don't know how to teach them. You're not going to give them no truth. You're just trying to make them fit in and be good boys and girls in school, to grow up and be misused by the system, by their own people, by the other nations. And then when they come back crying to you, all you can do is shake their head or shake your head and pat them on the back, tell them it's going to be all right. Nah, brothers and sisters, you need to damn wake up and read. But I'm going to move on. Let's go to the book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 16, verse 12. Because our brothers and sisters got to understand where the healing actually starts, where it comes from. It's nothing we can do but apply it once we figure out what the answer is. Let's go to the book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 16, verse 12. And it reads, "For it was neither herb nor mollifying plaster that restored them to health. But thy word, O Lord, which healeth all things. Thy word, O Lord, which healeth all things. The word of the Most High is what heals all things. It's not you going to the doctor to get a damn blood pressure pill. It's not you going to get a checkup from the doctor every time they tell you to. But thy word, O Lord, which healeth all things. Thy word. You got to get into this word. The word is what's going to heal you. Now, what do you do when you get a sickness and the doctors, they don't know what to do for you? What do you do then? You hit your knees, you start praying then. Why is that? Well, the Lord, he got me. I got to pray to him. Why is that? But thy word, O Lord, which healeth all things. You know that deep down in your spirit. But rather than wait until you get to that point, why don't you start ahead of time? Just do it on a daily basis. The same way you wake up and start your coffee or get in that shower or hit that alarm clock. Hey, start with the word every day. Why? Because it heals all things. Gonna heal all your problems because you got answers to everything. The reason you got problems right now is because you're not using the words. You're not applying it to your life. Therefore, you're out there confused, dazed and confused, caught between a rock and a hard place trying to figure this thing out. It's already been laid out for you. All you got to do is read the script, play your role, play your part, and understand that healing don't come from Esau Tylenol. It don't come from Bayer. That ain't going to heal you. That ain't going to do nothing but put a Band-Aid on it. Band-Aid on a broke leg, as I always say. But thy word, O Lord, which healeth all things. That's what's going to heal us. From there, let's go back to Psalms chapter 41. Psalms chapter 41. And you read Psalm 41 and 4. Is that one want to start? Yeah, it said, I said, Lord, be merciful unto me. Heal my soul, for I have sinned against thee. This King David speaking. He asked the Lord, be merciful unto me. Why? Because I have sinned against thee. So he understands why he go through the things he go through. When you sin, that's when you have these problems and situations. But you got to humble yourself down and realize what the problem is. Admit it to the Most High. Pray that he's merciful unto you to heal your soul, to heal your body. You see that? That's how you get healing, my brothers and sisters. That's how you bring life and speak life into your brothers and sisters. You know? Let's go back to the book of Hosea, chapter 6, verse 1. Book of Hosea, chapter 6, verse 1. And it reads, come and let us return unto the Lord, for he have torn and he will heal us. He have smitten and he will bind us up. Remember how we was talking about how the whole body was sick from the head to the foot, or from the foot to the head, and it was smitten, had bumps and bruises. The Lord said, return unto me, and he will heal us. He have smitten, and he will bind us up, meaning he will heal us. He will close up those wounds, those bumps and bruises that we have as a nation of people. Only he knows how to heal us. I'm going to keep reading. Verse 2, it says, after 2 days will he revive us, and the third day he will raise us up, and we shall live in his sight. In his sight. That's when we in the kingdom. Remember that. Then shall we know, if we follow on to know the Lord, his going forth is prepared as the morning, and he shall come unto us as the rain, as the latter and former rain unto the earth. Then we'll be prosperous. When we follow in the Lord, when we know the Lord. How do you know the Lord? By reading his word, keeping his commandments. You start getting information and understanding that you never had before. You see that? Because it said when you keep the commandments, you have a good understanding. That's why you see brothers and sisters who are in this truth. They used to be somewhat simple-minded or carnally mindset, wrong choice of word, but used to have a simple mindset. But when they came into the truth, started keeping these commandments and started searching out prophecy and wisdom, they became wise beyond measure. And that's what's going to happen when we get to know the Lord, because he's going to give you wisdom and knowledge that will confound the so-called wise of this world. You know, he already told you keeping the commandments will be your wisdom and your understanding in the sight of these nations. So why are we striving to be like them when all we got to do is come back to who we are? Let's go to the book of 2 Chronicles, chapter 7. 2 Chronicles, chapter 7, verse 12. And it reads, and the Lord appeared to Solomon by night and said unto him, I have heard thy prayer and have chosen this place to be myself for an house of sacrifice. If I shut up heaven that there be no rain, or if I command the locusts to devour the land, or if I send pestilence among my people, if my people, he didn't say all people, if my people, which are called by my name, Israel, shall humble themselves and pray and seek my face and turn from their wicked ways, then will I hear from heaven and will forgive their sin and will heal their land. You see that? They're not going to teach you this in the church. You're not going to hear it from your parents unless they've been in this truth for a minute. You're not going to hear it on your job. You're not going to hear it on the radio, nor in your music, nor when you turn on to watch a favorite sports program. They're not going to tell you how to heal yourself, how to heal your land, how to get back to the Most High. They're not going to tell you these things. But we dedicate our time to things that do not help, uplift, or benefit us. The Lord said, you got to humble yourself. Realize that you are an Israelite. You're not a damn African American. What does that mean? You're not black. You're not a color in a box. You're not a Negro. You're not a Hispanic. You're not a Latino. You're not an Indian. The hell are these? Them terms don't even mean anything. But if we humble ourselves and bethink ourselves, remember who we are, and pray and seek my face and turn from our wicked ways, then will I hear from heaven and forgive their sin and will heal their land. You see that? But we got to be humble first. Then we got to turn from them wicked ways and pray to the Most High, seeking his face. Because you got to read to find out what are your wicked ways. Right now, you thinking going to church on Sunday is saving you. No. That's not what the Lord told you to do, so you're going off. You thinking because you exercising 6-7 days a week, but eating swine, you think you're doing good. Or you praying over your food. You praying over an abomination, thinking the Lord said, eat that. That's backwards. He told you not to eat certain foods and you eat it anyway, and then you pray over it saying, thank you for this. He didn't do that. You did it. That was wicked. But understand that. I'm going to keep reading though. It says, now mine eyes shall be open and my ears attent unto the prayer that is made in this place. For now I have chosen and sanctified this house, that my name may be there forever, and my eyes and my heart shall be there perpetually. That's how we get the Lord's attention. That's how we make sure that his eye is watching over his children, by humbling ourselves down, turning from our wicked ways, praying to him and seeking his face, seeking the kingdom first. Not by trying to be niggas and thugs and thoughts. Not thinking we not trying to be damn gangbangers, drug dealers, uh celebrities. That ain't gonna get it. That's not helping our people, as I have explained time after time after time again. But let's go to the book of Psalms, chapter 82. Book of Psalms, chapter 82, verse 3. It says, defend the poor and fatherless, do justice to the afflicted and needy. You see that? That's part of our commandments in healing our broken and weak-spirited, weak-hearted, weak-natured people. We got to defend the poor and fatherless. Do justice to the afflicted and the needy. Deliver the poor and needy. Rid them out of the hand of the wicked. You see that? Got to rid them out of the hand of the wicked. A lot of our people don't even know they surrounded or in go or in the hand of the wicked. Don't even realize what's going on. That's why we got to go out to the highways and byways to deliver our people. A lot of brothers and sisters out just going through it. And, you know, Esau, the main wicked, they put in place things that'll have you to go off just so you can get the bare minimum. For instance, you need a house to cover shame, a place to sleep, to wash up. They'll have you breaking the commandments just so you can have that place to stay. Leviticus 21:5 says you can't shave your beard off or shave your head bald. But some of these places will have our brothers going off where they got to shave their face naked in order to get that place to stay. That's why I say we got to deliver the poor and needy, rid them out of the hand of the wicked, because some of our brothers don't even know that they in sin by doing so. But we got to deliver them, give them the strength and knowledge that they need to understand that they shouldn't trust in the enemy who's going to have you in sin, but trust in the Lord who will take care of you. You know, you just got to have that knowledge first and then walk in the way. But from there, let's go to Proverbs 31. Proverbs 31. And it reads, Proverbs 31 and 8. And it reads, open thy mouth for the dumb, and the cause of all such are as appointed to destruction. Open thy mouth, judge righteously, and plead the cause of the poor and needy. You see that? The Lord keeps saying you got to stand up for your brothers and sisters. Open your mouth, judge righteously, not wickedly, but righteously, according to the scriptures, according to the law, and plead the cause of the poor and needy. Plead the cause. Don't just let it continue to happen. Plead the cause. Give these brothers and sisters truth. You know, probably a week or two ago, they were trying to do a stop the violence rally. You know, trying to get the youth to understand why they should stop with the violence. But none of the thoughts were to keep the commandments. It's doing rallies, it's playing music, it's singing and dancing. No one's saying keep the commandments. Nobody's saying keep the commandments. Nobody's saying come back and read the book. The same people that were saying we need to stop the violence, they weren't even addressing the youth. Where are the youth at? They're not in the church. The church then ran them away because it was full of lies. Where are the young? Where are the youth at? They in the streets. That's where we got to go get them. That's where we got to go deliver the message. The Lord designed it that way. That's why he said, go out to the highways and byways and command them to come in that his house may be filled. Not sit behind the pulpit. Not charging money to come here to work. Go out there and get it. Go out there and get your people if you really love them. Put that work in. And then they got nerve to make fun or say the Israelites are in a cult when they the only ones really standing up for their people. They out there rain, sleet, or snow, standing up for hours, sacrifice, making their body a living sacrifice, according to Romans 12:1, for their people. They ain't out there with no damn sign on the dotted line and get your tax return. They ain't out there saying sign up for EBT or Section 8. No, we out here giving our people true knowledge that's going to wake them up. That's going to help them to understand what's going on and what they supposed to be doing right now. That's what we are supposed to be doing in order to heal the broken and the weak, because our nation of people, whether you know it or not, we broken all the way down. Weak as hell right now. You know, there's various scriptures I could go to, but just for time's sake, I'm going to keep it moving. Let's go to Psalm 25:5. Go right back to Psalm chapter 25, verse 5. And it reads, lead me in thy truth. This is how you end up healing your brothers and sisters. Because it said, defend the poor and the fatherless. Open thy mouth to do what? To give them truth. This is what King David is saying. Lead me in thy truth and teach me, for thou art the God of my salvation. On thee do I wait all the day. So we got to be sincere in this thing. We got to be seeking truth on a daily basis. How long we going to continue to swim in lies, to live in lies, to love lies, to spew lies? When we going to seek truth? Lord said, lead me in thy truth and teach me. That's what we aim to do with these Savory Sundays, Lord will. To uplift our brothers and sisters and give them truth, to build them up in the spirit, to give them backbone to be able to stand up against the evildoers, against this wicked kingdom, against the wicked of this world, to stand up for what's right, for the righteousness. Give them true hope and understanding. Lead me in thy truth and teach me, for thou art the God of my salvation. The enemy can't give you salvation. That don't even make sense. What you call that? An oxymoron. How your enemy gonna give you salvation when they constantly attacking you? That's simple as hell. But let's go to the book of Zechariah, chapter 7, verse 10. I got maybe 2-3 more scriptures and I'm gonna be out. I know how our attention span is as a nation of people. The book of Zechariah, chapter 7, verse 10. And it reads, and oppress not the widow, nor the fatherless, the stranger, nor the poor, and let none of you imagine evil against his brother in your heart. This is commandment. This is how you build your brothers and sisters up. Don't oppress each other. Nor the fatherless, the stranger, nor the poor. You see that? We ain't supposed to oppress each other. We getting oppressed by the other nation, and as soon as they give us a little position, we turn around and try to oppress our people. Or you in the hood, or you in the neighborhood doing all manner of wickedness. Now you trying to oppress your people. You robbing and stealing and selling that to your folks, killing them all, oppressing them, daring them to go seek some type of protection. It said, let none of you imagine evil against his brother in your heart, meaning in your mind. Stop thinking wicked thoughts about your brothers and sisters. Be righteous for once in your life. It's the only thing that's been beneficial thus far. From there, let's go to the book of Luke, chapter 4, verse 18. Book of Luke, chapter 4, verse 18. And it reads, and he came to Nazareth, where he had been brought up. And as his custom was, he went into the synagogue on the Sabbath day, and stood up to read. And there was delivered unto him the book. Is this what I want? Let me see. Yeah. And there was delivered unto him the book of the prophet Isaiah. And when he had opened the book, he found the place where it was written, "The Spirit of the Lord is upon me, because he have anointed me to preach the gospel to the poor. Excuse me. He have sent me to heal. He have sent me to heal the brokenhearted and to preach deliverance to the captives." Preach deliverance to the captives. Who are the captives? The same ones who were put on those slave ships. Preach deliverance to the captives and recovering of sight to the blind, to set at liberty them that are bruised. Them that are bruised. You see that? The Lord was sent here to heal the brokenhearted, just as we are. Brokenhearted, families destroyed, husband cheating or has left, committed adultery, likewise with the woman, families destroyed. Where my father at? Where my mother at? Why don't nobody love me? We've been sent here to heal the brokenhearted, to preach deliverance to the captives, those who know that they are captive, and those that don't, to give them truth, wisdom, and understanding, give them life, and recovering the sight to the blind, those who are actually blind and those who can open and see with their eye but are still blind. Blind to the fact that they Israelites, that they God's chosen people. They are Israelites, not Christians, not Presbyterians, not Islam, not Muslims, not Rastafarians, not Baptists, not Pentecostal, not Mormons, not Buddhists, not none of those religions, not Negroes, but Israelites, giving them sight to the blind, to let them know what's going on. Why these individuals who run the world are in control. Giving them sight, to set their sight on something that's realistic, something that means something, versus just trying to get money. You living your life to just get money and your family's constantly being destroyed as time goes on. To set at liberty, meaning free, them that are bruised. Bruised. We as a nation of people are bruised. We already went over that. Bruised. So that's how we got to heal our brothers and sisters. Because we don't actually know what's going on. But let me go to Revelation 21:4. This is part of giving your brothers and sisters light or sight to see, being blind, and reason to continue to push, being in this truth. Book of Revelation, chapter 21, verse 4. And it reads, "And Yahweh shall wipe away all tears from their eyes, and there shall be no more death, neither sorrow, nor crying, neither shall there be any more pain, for the former things are passed away." If that ain't enough to live your life in a righteous manner, what is? That's what we're hoping for. The destruction of our enemies and the restoring of us to our righteous position in rulership, ruling this world, ruling this earth, where there's no more tears, no more pain, no more death for our nation. No more pain. You ain't got to worry about your back aching, but you putting in all them hours. Your feet hurting from standing up on the side of a damn conveyor belt. Eyes hurting staring in front of a damn computer screen all damn day. You know, that's going to be gone. That's how we heal our brothers and sisters. Give them a realistic goal on setting their eyes and their life on trying to obtain. Why am I going to strive all my life, break my body down just to get some money that I can't take with me and I can't even spend the way I want to? Think about that. Can't even spend the money that you make the way you want to. Think about that. But for now, let's go to the book of Amos, chapter 9, verse 11. And that might be the last one. Amos chapter 9, verse 11. And it reads, in that day will I raise up the tabernacle of David that is fallen, and close up the breaches thereof. Those are those putrefying sores, cuts and bruises. And I will raise up his ruins, and I will build it as the days of old. You see that? I'm going to keep reading. That they may possess the remnant of Edom, so-called white man, and all of the heathen, which are called by my name, saith the Lord, that doeth this. That's what we're looking for. That's another benefit to living a righteous life by keeping these commandments. You're going to possess these other nations for servants and handmaids. The same way they possess you, same way you're going to possess them. We got a just God. We serve a just God. Yahweh by Hashem, Yahweh Shai. Understand that. So that is the true healing. How we going to continue to heal the broken and the weak? First, by letting them know who they are, breaking down what's plaguing them, showing what happens when you don't attend to the things that plague you, and how to get that healing, and the ultimate goal of not being sick anymore, not being broken and weak anymore. So for those who don't know, after this class, you should know your goal as an Israelite is to heal the broken and the weak. That's a commandment. It's not a one-time thing. This is a daily thing. Heal your brothers and sisters. Starts with you, though. It starts with you. You got to read. You got to study to show yourself approved so that you can teach and uplift your brothers and sisters. Meet them where they are to lift them up, to sharpen their skill set. I always teach. Let me get one more. Proverbs chapter 27 and 17. Let me just read them. Book of Proverbs chapter 27, verse 17. And it reads, iron sharpeneth iron, so a man sharpeneth the countenance of his friend. So you got to sharpen your iron every day. Sharpen your sword. Get comfortable with it. Get familiar with it. Learn how to finesse with it. But always strive to learn so you can teach, to sharpen your brother and your sisters. Do that on a daily basis. And this has been another Savory Sunday. I'm your brother Ananias for A.O.I, the Awakening of Israel. We got to give all honor, glory, and praise to Yahweh by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, thanking him for all things, above all things, at all times. For the reading, for the understanding. For you brothers and sisters tuning in. For the increase in knowledge. For the laborers who aim to learn more, to seek more, to teach more, and to do more in life. Pressing toward the mark, toward the kingdom. And I pray and hope that you all were edified and that it wasn't in vain, this work. So take what you learn, rewind, take notes, whatever the case may be, but have those discussions and apply these things to your life. And on that note, I say shalom to you.